I have to walk.
Get them on.
I, like many others here. Now, I took, you're going to see the lefties now later on looking at these videos and saying dole heads and saying unemployed. Like, the lefties are actually unemployable, and that's why the lefties join NGOs. NGOs is supposed to be non-government organisations. 60% of the NGOs in this country are lobbying groups. They go and they push their policies on the government, and then the government pushes the NGO policies back on the working man and woman of this country. Now, there was a tragedy from one of our blockade protesters. There was on O'Connell Street last week. And, you know, that could be only the start of it. I know a lot of businessmen, a lot of hauliers, a lot of coach companies are really, really struggling at the minute. The fuel has gone up, but they're in contracts with schools. They can't raise their fares. And that's the reality of it. That government in there sent away 784 million last year to foreign aid. And when they gave the 250 million to the truckers and the hauliers and the farmers and the rest of us, that actually equates to only 2 cents at the pumps. They took 17 cents off in a 250 million deal, and within a week and a half, that 17 cents had gone up by 19 cents. So then they took another 10 cents off. To be grateful. It's our money that they're spending. I don't go out to work to pay a migrant's rent. I go out to pay my own rent. I go out to pay my own living expenses. And I do not agree to my taxes going on IPAS accommodation. And then I spoke up on O'Connell Street last Saturday, and I actually got ridiculed and attacked by one of the truck drivers who I was there to support. I worked all week last week, and as soon as I finished work on Friday, I went home and had a wash, I jumped on the train and I came in. I didn't get home till after midnight, and I was back in Dublin at 10:30 the next morning. And I warned the crowd that the guards might chatty and friendly with them all week, but as soon as they get their orders, and by the second time I went on the microphone, they had gotten their orders in Whitegate, and they were pepper spraying, they were battering, they were corralling, and they were assaulting the Irish public. Now, there's a chap here, PJ, I'm going to get him up to say a few words. He was a medic in Whitegate last week, and he'll have a lot more information on what went on down there. It was absolutely disgusting. It's 110 years since the Irish government turned the army on its own people. And 110 years later, they did it again. Nobody signs up for Oleg Naharan to turn on their own people. And I don't know what the crack is with getting into the guards now. Do you have to be a Freemason? Because as far as I can see, they've no moral compass, they've no empathy with the working person. And we've seen that with Garda Gillian O'Donoghue driving down to Cork with her husband last week. And she called us wankers, spastics, scumbags. And she loved to punch us in the face. That is a servant Garda in Killarney Garda Station. And if she thinks that way, what's to make us think that all of the others don't think the same way?
They all think the same
way. I'm just sick of being treated as less than in my own country. We're treated as less than the people that shouldn't be here. We're treated as less than the people across in that building. None of them in that building are any better than us. And everybody that goes into politics goes in with the best of intentions. And as soon as they join a party and they're told what way the whip works, they have lost their own autonomy. They're just part and parcel of a machine. And that machine is here to crush us. But we're here today to let that machine know we will not be beaten. We will not be broken. We won't be bribed. We won't be blackmailed. And we will keep turning up. And it's important that we turn up to events like this, just to show solidarity with each other. I noticed when I'm looking around the crowd here, right? And last week when I looked around the crowd, how many of our coloured arrivals were there to support us in a fuel strike? None. None. They've Irish passports all right, and they'll flash them in the welfare office. But they won't come up here and stand with the Irish people that are welcoming them into their country, even though 9 out of 10 of them are not really welcome. It goes to show that the government policy at the minute is more to do with granting citizenship to economic migrants. So they'll drive the wages of every man and woman that's working in Ireland down. They will drive the wages down. And I said this before. The Minister for Justice, Jim O'Callaghan, when he came out about 6 or 7 months ago, and he admitted that some of the IPAS residents were in employment. And he said they may be asked to contribute in a year's time. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Free accommodation, free laundry, free food, free money, and absolutely no contribution back to the people that's helping you. That's what I see. So I'm going to ask PJ to get up here. He was a medic in Whitegate, and he'll fill you in on exactly what went down, hour by hour, minute by minute. Thanks very much for everyone for turning up. Aaron the Bra, God bless you.
Hello folks, how are you? Hello guard, with the old arms folded there, you're paying attention. And do pay attention because this is the state of our country. I'm 55 years of age. I was a medic abroad. I was a nurse for 20 years here. I'm retrained as a blacksmith now. That's a bit of a journey. I'm living in North Cork. Anthony Gallagher, that was the organiser of Whitegate. That was the first truck to come in, was a great buddy of mine. I knew on Friday Anthony had no medical help on a train on Saturday because we have an autistic son at home who's got a peg tube in that he's non-verbal, and fathers here in this country don't get acknowledgement for the carers' work they do, and partners of people, and people are soldiering alone. And I got on that train and I went down to Whitegate, and 4 checkpoints and 3 barricades. I'm not going to tell you how that happened, but thank you, Bus Aaron. But I got in there, and what I feared happened. 2 guards lost the run of themselves and started spraying pepper spray during a hard push from the public order unit, which could have caused untold damages to people, where 200 people were pushed back through a place between 2 tractors that was 4 feet wide, where they wanted you to go running backwards, but there was people being crushed. They kept that on that day until they drew a straight line straight across the protests and pushed them back. Pushed their fellow countrymen back. Where they fucking pushed them and shoved them and bait them, and one man got pulled from a tractor and he got fucking kicked and fucking stamped on. And this is the Gardaí who are the guardians of peace in our country. These are the people, the preserve of law and order, turning their fists and their boots on us. 100 years just over since we took this country back after 800 years of misery, hardship, emigration and death. And what have we got now? The old fucking house that was in the Lord Lieutenant's is now got a new Lord Lieutenant from Turner's Cross in fucking Cork. Micheál Martin, that I sat opposite the Board of Management in Cork RTC with as a fresh TD he was. He fell asleep during Board of Management meetings. He was fucking useless then. He's fucking dangerous now. The deal that he announced was not a deal. It was a closed sectional instruction given by fucking Europe to stop us linking up with the French farmers, came from Ursula von der Leyen. He had to get EU approval for that deal. They spent less in that deal, 505 million this tranche, and if you want to put in the other 250, we'll even give them that. They spent less than what they spent, 725 million on account for inflation, than what they spent saving RTE. That fucking cesspit government mouthpiece. They think more about a fucking television station and a radio station than they do about you, all of us. That's what they think. That's more important. The IRHA went in there and the IFA and they did a deal for the biggest lads in the IRHA and the IFA. They didn't do it for the small farmer, the small agricultural contractor, the local rural business person, all of you urban and rural putting petrol and diesel into your cars, the carers taking care of the elderly, the pensioners on fixed income, the people that are fucking running to stand still, and now the weakest are falling by the side, as we saw with that poor man, and I've had a report of a second one, so it's now doubled. Folks, a couple of businesses by me are now pulling up shutters. What we saw in 2008 when our youth left this country to go to Australia, to New Zealand and to Canada, where girls as nurses and teachers went to Dubai, when our men went mining out Queensland, when they went to Canada logging, when they were working in factories abroad and we knew they never came home. We had country wakes every week in North Cork. We're going to see the same up to the end of this year where our youth is going to empty. In North Cork, we are literally lacking 80% of our 30 to 45-year-olds. They're gone. What are left, that 20%, we're going to see half of them go. We're not fools. We've seen this before. We're realists. And that deal that was done behind interest, the IRHA and the IFA never stood up for the representatives put forward by the truckers and the rest of the lads on the front fucking line. They never spoke up for them. They closed the door for Micheál Martin. And they came out with a deal that was absolutely useless. In this country, we gave 125 million to Ukraine in the last while. We're told there's no money for mental health services. Helen McEntee fucked off to Ukraine with 40 million in her purse in her back pocket. Yet children strangled with scoliosis. 98% of the new builds last year, lads, of all the houses in this country were bought by industrial landlords. 2% went on the open market for your sons and daughters and nephews and nieces and brothers and sisters to fight over to buy, because the only other option is industrial fucking landlordism and the likes of Iries. And what do? They're owned and bought by fucking stockholders and they export the profits abroad. Circle K, who came down with a fucking truck to Whitegate? Who owns Circle K? Circle K is owned by a Canadian teachers' pension fund. When you fill up at Circle K, you send the profit straight off to Canada. Are you aware of that? Now, there you go. And Micheál Martin is glad to do business with these people. He fucking berated Lowry like a maniac while he was in opposition. But now Lowry's his good friend. And we saw how good a friend he was this week when he turned around and marshalled the troops. We had the two fucking rats from Kerry that I know personally jump fucking ship before they were pushed in the next election. And I can tell you this much, lads. They will hold fucking tight. They think they will hold tight. What we need to do, every fucking parish, every county, every province, we need to play their games against them. On the evening after the deal, every TD came out, Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, support the deal, support the deal. We're wonderful, we're brilliant. That's what we got. Carefully curated Instagram and Facebook posts from them. And they're telling us that they're representing us. They're representing you by taking off their boot and putting a slipper on to put it down on your fucking neck, is what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They are emptying rural Ireland. They are making urban Ireland impossible to live in, where you can't find a house. When you do find a house, you can't afford to furnish it or buy food for your own bloody children. They are making it so impossible that they are driving us back to the days of Prince John in England. And I can tell you this much, folks, what we need is a few Robin Hoods. That's what we need. And every single one of you is a Robin Hood. Every single one of you, by saying nothing, lets them win. It only takes a few good men to say nothing for evil to succeed. Every single one of you will talk to 4 people today. You will tell those 4 people to talk to 4 people. All of you lads down there in front of me, you will all do this live and put this fucking out. And you will take this message to every bloody corner continent of this world. We spent 800 years fighting. We got off one knee last weekend in Whitegate, and that was just us. All of you can get off a knee as well. All of you can come forward, stand up, make right in this country. Have it so that we have a system, like Chris was saying, where the money that's paid, there is accountability. Where even, for example, that we have recall for our TDs. If he proves to be a cunt that we've elected, then we'll pull him back and fuck him out. There we go. There we go. Very easy. Accountability. And we'll do it with councillors. And we'll do it with the fucking lot. We'll do fundamental fucking change, root, branch, every part of review of it. Because I can tell you this much. There is money pouring out of that place like what's pouring down the Liffey in water. It is going to every section except where it's supposed to go. I'm waiting for respite for our son for 9 months now. I'm taking it to the High Court. We've had 1 night off in 9 years for a wedding. I'm glad I made that wedding because we lost a friend shortly thereafter. I sat down with a friend of mine. He works with the UN, but he's one of our own. Dr. Damien McSweeney. He's watching this out from Bulgaria. Hello, Max. How are you doing? And lads, we sat down over a bottle of poutine in our Cork one night. And we counted 41 people in this country that we knew, he knew, and I knew that had committed suicide. And it's a scourge. And it is going to get worse. People are running to stand still. I'm urging you, I'm urging everyone that's seeing this, stand up, come forward, be there, fight! Because without that, we might as well fucking roll over it. Now, I think the tablets are kind of worn off with this. So I'm going to pass it back to Alan there. He knows what he's doing. He just asked, I asked him for permission, he gave me permission. Thank you for listening to me. It has been one of the most proudest moments of my life. Thank you.
I'm going to hand you over to John Malloy just briefly there. He wants to make an announcement.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? I normally stand down there, but I'm going to stand up here for a second. Okay, my name is John Malloy. Some of you out there know who I am. I represent not just myself, but I represent a group of people called the Risen People. The reason why I'm here today is just for myself, and I want to express my feelings of what happened over these last few days. And I want you to join me in something in 1 second, if you will. A few days ago, after protests that were on here in Dublin, a young man down the country went to himself and thought, I've had enough. He fought battles in his own head. We all fight battles. Now, that young man, from what I can gather, wasn't actually involved directly up here in Dublin, but indirectly as a farmer, the government put pressure on him. And as a young man, where he wanted to try and succeed, in his own head he was failing. He wasn't failing, the government was failing him. And at this moment in time, that family of that young man is now grieving his departure from this earth. So on behalf of myself and on behalf of everybody here, I want to express our sincere sympathy to that young man's family, to his farming friends, to the family friends, to the communities around where he is, and from the communities that are standing up here today fighting the battle for him. I'd like you all to join me in a one Our Father and three Hail Marys, if you don't mind, to help that young man's soul pass on up to heaven and up to the arms of angels, where they will look after him, and hopefully God will come down and look after his family, because they're going through torture. So if you wouldn't mind, join me on that. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day
our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for our sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
May his soul and all the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce two friends of mine. Thank you. I'd like you to allow me to introduce two friends of mine up on stage in 1 second, because today we've asked, or I've asked, and good people have asked, that we put together a petition, a hard copy petition of signatures of the people of this country
Here I'm not.
that are anti-government and that's against everything that those crowd up there are pushing on us. We employ these people to look after us. It's time to sack them. Get them out! Get them out! To continue that one, we have a president.
Where are all them pictures down?
Yeah, we have. So I've been told we have. No, it's maybe it's a rumor, but I've been told there's a president up there in the White House in the Phoenix Park. Am I wrong? Okay. But that president was not elected by the people of this country. And that president, by rights, should be standing up for each and every one of you as well. That president has a constitutional right to stand up for you people. We are signing a hard copy petition. We also have a letter which will be read out for you in English and Ascalia in 2 minutes, that we're actually putting into an envelope. We're sealing it with the petitions as we gather them, and we're giving that to her by hand, not by courier, not by email, by hand in her gate. And we're asking her to address this. Her failure to address this will be detrimental to her being up in that office. Because the next thing we will do as a nation, if they don't listen to us, and if she doesn't listen to us, well, you all know the answer. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Fiona and Deborah, or Dee. Where is she? Where is Deborah? Deborah! Carl Wilton, where are you? We should wait for her grand entrance. God bless her.
Come on, Deb, come on.
So you come on.
Go here.
Up the yard there.
I'll do the English one, you do the Irish. I'm sorry, no, I'm not saying.
Decent.
Sound engineer is gone haywire.
Get them out! 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 They're Ravens! They're Ravens!
Blind and best. It just hates me, okay?
Hello?
Goodness is thought you've all got here and you. Fiona Ní Bhuilim Anam Dom, August Tommy Con Litter Don on Uachtarán, Leavenish, O Nadina O Era. Hi, my name is Fiona Mills. I'm going to read a letter in English. The Irish version seems to have gone missing. And it's basically from We the People to the President of ERA with regards to our constitutional rights. Okay, I'm going to start with Article 43 of An Bunreacht 1937, which states a copy of An Bunreacht will be held, a true copy of An Bunreacht will be held in evidence in the Supreme Court in case of conflict between the Irish and English text. The Irish text shall prevail. And so far, every constitution, this government is stepping all over. Our constitution protects us from EU laws. It trumps EU law. So the EU law means nothing in this country once we start to actually, not the blue book, the blue book is missing a shitload of articles, whereas the yellow book has all 63 articles in it. In 1939, Fianna Fáil went into the Dáil when Germany invaded Poland and decided to fraudulently change the constitution. Okay, but the true copy is still held intact, no amendments, no statutes, no nothing on it in the Supreme Court. And this is what our Article 1 in the Constitution of Bunreacht tells us what we can do with regards to our government. 1, 2, and 6. Right, there's a load of other ones, but these are the prominent ones. Also, there's a letter that's written by the people of ERA for Catherine Connolly, or meant to be sitting president. Obviously, she has been hidden and has not spoke with all the pain and hurt that's going on in this country with the way we the people are being treated. Now, I am not far right, far left, diddly squat. I am an Irish woman, an Irish living woman. I am not a dead person. I do not go under maritime law. I'm not a mermaid. And I do not go under corporate law. I go under God's law. And our Constitution states it's under God's law we live. Okay, the letter in English. We the people of ERA, the 17th of April 2026, to President Catherine Connolly, Áras an Uachtarán, Phoenix Park, Dublin 8.
We, the Irish people, are finished watching your government, destroy our country. While 17,308 of our own Irish men and women and children, including thousands of kids, are homeless and sleeping in tents on our streets. You roll out the red carpet for foreigners. They get free houses, free money, free medical cards, and priority health care, while our own people are left waiting in pain and sleeping rough. Our young Irish people cannot afford to buy houses or even rent a decent home in their own country. They are trapped living at home in tiny box rooms, unable to start their lives, while foreigners are housed before them. This is heartbreaking. Our young nurses and talented young people in general, all educated with the Irish taxpayers' money, are being forced to leave their homeland in their thousands. They go to Australia, Canada, elsewhere for better wages and for a decent life, because this government has made it impossible for them to build a future here. Over 6,500 nursing posts set empty as a direct result. Instead, you bring in the staff from third world who don't know our ways. This isn't care for Ireland. This is putting foreigners before our own flesh and blood. This is treason against the Irish nation. You stayed silent while Gardaí physically abused peaceful protesters during a fuel protest. Ordinary Irish people were roughed up, pepper sprayed, assaulted by the very guards meant to protect them. You never opened your mouth, not one word. As president, you have failed the Irish people. We need you when we needed you most. And while Irish families are taxed to the hilt, struggling to pay bills and keep a roof over their heads, you send hundreds of millions, nearly €1 billion in foreign aid in other countries. No money or taxes not for our own people. Shame on you, President Connolly. You were elected to stand for Ireland and the Irish. Instead, you've stayed silent while our country is given away. Our children are pushed out. Our protesters are beaten in the streets. Your duty to the Irish nation, not global agendas. Speak up now. Demand Ireland and the Irish come first. Our history will remember you as the president who watched your country burn and said nothing. The Irish people are watching. We will not forget. We will take our country back. We, the people, are invoking our constitutional right, who governs us, as stated in Article 1 and 6. Now, but I'm going to start with 63 to remind you that this is law. This is law in the land. Article 63 states to us there is a true copy of An Bunreacht 1937 intact, held as evidence in the Supreme Court. So Article 1, okay, this is the article the government changed in 1939, but this is the true version of it. The Irish nation hereby affirms its inalienable, indefeasible, and sovereign right to choose its own form of government. This is the best part. To determine its relations with other nations. And to develop its life, political, economical, cultural, in accordance with its genius and traditions. That's Article 1 on Bunreacht 1937, the Yellow Book. Article 6, all powers of government, you know what I'm saying, right? Executive and judicial, derive under God from the people whose right it is to designate the rulers of its state, and in final appeal to decide all questions of the national policy according to the requirements of the common good. The powers of the government are exercisable only on the authority of the origin of the state established by the Constitution. The origin of the state are we, the people. Catherine Connolly, we're invoking those two articles of the Constitution, and you now need to dissolve this corrupt, parasitic, globalist government in our country.
That's the movement! That's over!
Folks, that's the book, the blue book that they govern us with. To that, I put my foot on. That is the Constitution that we stand under and with, not what they're pushing on us. You ready for a few words? There you go, girl. Oh, my cousin, I should look at it. Well, you better just don't know that now, you know.
So what brings us all here? Just a bit of tea. No, I just wanted to say a few words. We hear Martin saying in the Dáil, what is criminal vetting? What is vetting? All of you, if you go for a job in this country, you have to submit through criminal vetting. And if you're employing illegal immigrants without any Garda vetting into working with children, into working in healthcare, in our hospitals, I want to talk about the rise in crime, sexual assaults and rape throughout Ireland. People are living in poverty. People can't afford their heating. They can't afford food. Mammies are going hungry to feed their kids. And we have to all just sit back and take it. This message is to the EU. The government of Ireland does not own Ireland. The people of Ireland own Ireland. Nobody else. And the people have showed time and time again that they will come together and we will fight together. And to use our own army and our own Gardaí that swore an oath to protect the people of this country, to use them against people that had no choice but to pull up because they cannot afford to continue making food for all of us. All of us. They put food on your table every day and you pepper sprayed and arrested them. Shame on every last one of you. And I will say, fuck the EU. That's what we think from you. Fuck the EU. This is Ireland, not the EU. We recognise no foreign ruler, no foreign laws and no foreign policies. Not 1916 and not 2026. The hell with the lot, yeah.
I'm speaking for you. When I went and found him to come back up, I just want to mention a man that's over in Castlebar at the moment, in hospital in Castlebar. I promised I might mention his name. And he's a true nationalist and a hell of a guy. And that is Corky, or John Callan, as you know. And Corky's gone through a bit of rough time. So on behalf of everybody here, give him a hip hip hooray and help him along. He's all yours. I've said my piece, all right? I'm not going to hold the mic.
Just like to let everybody know as well, this is an open mic. Anybody that's here in the crowd that wants to come up and say a few words, you're more than welcome. You know, there's no There's no censorship here. Everybody has a right to speak. We're here representing the Irish people, and if any people in the crowd want to come up, say a few words on their own behalf on how government policy is affecting them and their daily lives, you're more than welcome. Of course you can. What's your name? Right, Becky's going to say a few words here now.
I'm an Irish person of this country. My two grandfathers and their forefathers fought for this. They didn't fucking fight for nothing. I am a woman and I am a mother of this country. I've been living homeless in a camp for 6 fucking years. Do the government care? No! Do I care? Yes! Don't fucking stand with them. Stand by yourself if it's only you that you fucking believe in. Stand for what you believe in.
Thank you very much. Paul Fitzsimons would you like to come up. Well, Peter, get up there. Yep. Right, Paul Fitzsimons is going to come up. Paul runs Gale Force Media, and he does a show called The Irish Column, which is on YouTube. He'll tell you a bit more about it himself here.
How are you? How's everyone? It's great. I have to say, it's great to see so many people here today. Fair play to everyone. I wasn't expecting so many. We've a couple of thousand here, fair play. But what I will say is, I just echo what the lad said earlier about Whitegate and everything else. I went through this in Coolock. My father was pepper sprayed in Coolock, 79 years of age, 2 years ago. By these same lads across here. Now, we'll all probably get arrested for talking about these like this, you know what I mean? But fuck them. It has to be said. These people are not your friends. These people are not guardians of the peace. These people are protecting those monsters that are in that doll. They locked us down for 2.5 years in 2020 and nothing said about it. Nobody held accountable. There's 28,000 excess deaths in this country. Nobody's talking about it because they have RTE bought and nobody's allowed to talk about it. As I said, we set up Gale Force Media. We'll talk about everything. Anything that's going on. Between kids getting abducted in areas, everything that they don't do, we will do. We have to take back the narrative and we have to push this out and let everybody see what's going on in this country. Last week, I stood in my parents' house and my mother and father watch RTE and all the others, but they were talking about the protests. People were thinking it was just a far right. All of us lads who stood up and spoke over the last few years are far right, and it was our fault that we caused all of this, that we did this and we did that. But Middle Ireland now has seen that these people will turn on anyone. It doesn't matter whether it's man, woman or child, no matter where you're from. They will do that. So people, these are not your friends. You get these in GAA clubs. See, these farmers thought we'll come up to Dublin, we'll do the protest. They wouldn't listen to people telling them that, listen, these are going to turn on you lads as soon as they get the orders. And that's exactly what they did. They were either naive or stupid. But next time they won't be naive. Next time we won't be stupid. Next time we're taking over this whole city and they're gone. Gone out of that government. Gone the block.
Thanks very much, Paul. I'm going to actually call the next speaker Adele Gillick. Now, I'll just introduce you to Adele. Adele has been found in a group called Wake Up Era. And from 2020, when the scamdemic started and they started locking us down, Adele was out there on the forefront. And many other people like Barry and other people, Ferg Power, everybody that was involved in the PSYOP, which was the COVID, and then the bioweapon, which was the vaccine. So I'll put Adele onto you there.
Thank you so much, everybody. First of all, a little bit of housekeeping. Sky News are here posing as a patriot journalist. They no longer wear their little emblems. I'm not picking it, I'm just telling people, long lenses. If you don't want to be on Sky News this evening misrepresented, be media aware. Secondly, there's another journalist here from Abu Dhabi, although they're Brazilian, and they're selling their live feed back to Abu Dhabi. So again, guys, the power is with you. You decide if you're going to give these people a minute. Nobody, as far as I'm concerned, is coming here to film Irish people in the worst situations and then send it back to live feeds. She couldn't tell me, I'm not picking, it doesn't matter. She couldn't tell me who was going to edit it, who was the ownership of it, what slant was going to be put on it, and then she tells me I know nothing about the news. I know nothing about Abu Dhabi news. I know about Irish news. RTE is the virus. RTE was always the virus, and RTE always will be the virus. So just for yourselves, take your power back. You do not have to give an interview to anybody. Be the interviewer, not the interviewee. Take control of your own life. Since 2019, Irish people have lost control of their own lives through coercion, through bullying. Take it back. Take it back in your homes. Take it back in your village. Take it back in your town. Take it back in your county. Take it back. This could never have been about diesel. It could never have been about petrol. That was the catalyst, not the catalytic converter. I don't even drive. It was the catalyst. Because the Irish have put up with so much. We have the inherited memories of our generations before. And that's in your heart, and that's in your soul. It could never have been about diesel and saunter off home. It could never have been about that. It was the touch paper and the fire to the touch paper. That's what it was. The diesel put the fire to the touch paper, and nobody is sauntering off home. That's the question. And in the rural communities, if you're still supporting the GAA, who lended their facilities as depopulation centres, and they bust them out to the GAA. If you're in rural Ireland and you won't call them out, you're part of the problem. To the farmers, we support you, but we support everybody that's standing up for this cause. There's people that's here, and I know the people that have been standing since 2019. In fact, they've been standing forever. It was never going to be about just 1 week in Dublin and then saunter off home. Because some people have no homes to saunter off to. Remember that. So, my advice, in good faith, take your power back. Tell these criminals in here, I do not consent. I have never consented, and I never will consent. So I'd ask people, I'm very briefly we're gonna do a little survey, and if your answer is no, or if your answer is yes, did you consent to be called mongrels? No! Did you consent to your borders being flooded with unvetted? No. Did you consent, because you weren't given all the facts, to your granny being locked down and crawling the walls and begging for company? Why, Luke O'Neill, Miriam O'Callaghan, they all had a party in RCE. Did you consent? No. Did you consent for for your children to be called a cat or a dog, or there's no such thing as a woman. Did you consent? Did you consent? Did you really consent to a trial, gene, therapy? It doesn't matter if you took it because you weren't told the truth. Did you consent to be a guinea pig for Pfizer? No, I did not consent. Did you consent for people in Dublin and all around this country to be lying on roads while young men lie up all day and laugh at the Irish? Did you consent? I think it's very clear. The people here and the people watching and the people that want to buzz off home, we are not consenting. We never will until the job is finally done. And to the sneaky media among you, the Irish are no fools. Trust me. And you will find that. You'll soon find that out. So off you go to Sky News and sell your wares and sell your soul. And off you go to Abu Dhabi and send out this message to Abu Dhabi. The Irish are not for sale. God bless you all. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your friend and my friend, Liddell Gillick. As I said earlier on, folks, I would like each and every one of you to sign your name here on this. Just your name and where you're from. You don't have to put an email. You don't have to do any of that quick. It's not digital ID, so don't worry about it. All right? And that's another one we got to work out. This whole thing of digital ID coming in, folks, we have to not comply. It is very, very important that we do not comply to digital ID. If we do comply to digital ID, you can forget about it. It's over. So it's that simple. I'm not going down the whole path of why it's over. It's just fucking over. End of conversation. So please, just sign your name, where you're from. You don't have no emails, not just where you're from. And I'll leave that with you folks, all right? As we say here, it's an open mic. So anybody that would like to speak, we're not closed for business yet.